She broke into America's living rooms as a fierce competitor on The Bachelor and Bachelor in Paradise. But that was just the beginning. Born in a small town in upstate New York, Tammy K. Lee didn't just beat the odds, she rewrote them. From couch surfing as a teenager to closing million-dollar deals in LA and building a members-only social hub in Syracuse, Tammy embodies what this show is all about. This is not a story about reality TV. This is a story about reality, about hustle, resilience, and a relentless drive to turn trauma into triumph. Tammy K. Lee joins us now on The Disruptors.
I am very excited today because I am interviewing an individual that I think is super interesting. When we have a program like this, Tammy K. Lee, Lee is my last name. She is no relation, but everyone sees the headlines, and you've made it in my perception, but you've made it in so many different ways. And in today's economy and today's world, you're doing different things, but you're using your experiences to not only kind of create your own passions and your own path, but I think your story underneath the headlines is amazing. So welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm very excited to be here.
Yeah, we're excited to have you here too as well. Tammy, I know that you've been on The Bachelor, and I know you've been on a couple of other shows. Would you mind just walking through the audience a little bit about your history and so on and so forth? Because I find, if I could give you a precursor, coming from where you came from and where you came to be, and then maybe some of the other issues that are the stories that we talked about that I thought was really motivating for me.
So where do you want me to start?
Let's start with New York.
Okay. I'm born and raised in Syracuse, New York, this small little college town. Never thought I would ever make it out of there. And I ended up moving to California. I was on The Bachelor, season 24, Peter Weber's season. And then I ended up being on Bachelor in Paradise after COVID. Then I moved to LA. I booked another show called $1 Million Listing LA with the Tracy Tutor team, which I'm very excited to be on. And yeah, now here we are.
That's cool. So when did you move then to LA when?
2021.
Okay.
Yeah.
So kind of semi-recently.
Yeah.
Right? But you had some hardship kind of coming to the stage that you came to. Did you always know, and I want to go into that in a minute, but did you always wanted to be in media to a certain degree, but then you had passion on selling too as well. Can you kind of weave that in for me?
Yeah, I think everyone growing up has always told me I have a very loud, big personality. I was meant to be in a big city on a TV screen. I just didn't know to what aspect. And ended up just being on a reality TV show, a dating reality TV show, if that. And yeah, I didn't think I would ever get out of the scenario that I was in as a child. My parents left me when I was 14. So I was couch surfing as a freshman in high school and didn't have a great life. And I feel like everyone that hears my story now and my successes, they expect your parents are so proud of you. They probably raised you so well. Like you've had a great life. I had a really tough life until, I graduated high school. And I kind of had to fend for myself at 14 up until, I was a growing adult. But I remember sitting in a very tough situation as a child and realizing, like, this is not the life that I deserve. I deserve a grand life. And why can't I have that? Why does everyone else get to have that but me? So I decided, I remember I just clicked in my head, I'm going to work my ass off until I'm going to have that life. And then I just manifested and prayed about all these things that happen, and they do happen. And now I'm 3 shows in. I live in LA. I also live in New York. I have 3 homes in New York. We also live in Florida. And I get to bop around as freely as I need to be for work. And I feel like I'm living the dream now. I get to do what I love. I sell real estate. I sell insurance. I'm building a social club in New York. And I just...
Social club?
Yeah.
Talk to me about that a little bit.
So I'm actually building it in Syracuse. Very new concept for them. They don't even know what a social club is. But it's kind of like Soho House without the membership. At its core, it's a luxury coffee shop and juice bar and kava bar. I'm not a big drinker. If you know anything about kava root, it's a big like Fijian, Hawaiian root that people like to, it makes you feel kind of wine drunk-ish. Yeah, it's really nice and it helps you sleep. But at the very core, it's that. And on top of that, it'll be a full service marketing program. So we'll partner with different local businesses to be able to run events for them, do social media influencing, marketing for them, and just show them what that is like, because that's what everyone is promoting.
How did you come up with the idea?
I basically just, everything that I loved about LA and everything that I love to do, I put it all in one space, because why wouldn't I try to bring it to this small town that's very much growing? I think if you look right now, the statistics, like Syracuse is one of the most growing cities to buy real estate right now. There's so many projects going on, Micron's coming in. It's just a very growing city. And I feel like as soon as I get this there, more people that are coming from downstate, realizing they can buy more real estate upstate with more land for less price, they're all going to start migrating towards upstate.
Let's fast forward a little bit. So you get on The Bachelor, right? How did you get on? Because we've had a couple of contestants and so on and so forth, and that kind of gave us their story. And it's kind of unique. How did you get on?
So when I was working at Allstate Insurance, my coworker at the time, she went into my office one day. She's like, you know what you'd be good for? The Bachelor. I'm like, that is such a dumb show. No one ever goes on that show. It's not real. And then I was also bartending at a club downtown. And these girls that I was bartending with were watching the show. And they were talking about it. I'm like, you guys are so stupid. Like, this is not a real show. And little did I know that was manifesting that entire time that I was going to be on the show. So I got a call one time. I was actually hopping on a flight to Italy with my sisters. And a producer called me from California, and they're like, hey, like, this is a producer from The Bachelor. We'd love for you to fly to LA and like come meet with us. I'm like, okay, I'm going to Italy real quick. Wait, can I do it afterwards? Then I met with them, and I just remember that room was so intrigued with what I was saying. I think because I tend to talk very quickly, and I spit fire and trauma dump of basically everything that's happened to me from A to Z. And it's a lot. And I think that's why I was really intriguing for the show. I was the first full Asian contestant to be in top 10, which is also very proud.
That kind of blows my mind a little bit.
Yeah.
For all those Asians out there.
I know.
That's incredible. And so you were top 10. I always ask this for the people who are on the show. Did you get very emotionally engaged with,
The lead?
Yeah, the lead.
I mean, yes, it's a crazy show.
Do you feel, do you feel forced, or you're not forced, but you get that quite
It
feels synthetic to me.
It's a little synthetic, but also real. It's reality TV, so you're kind of like incubated.
Yeah, but you have all these cameras on you.
All the time, but I was used to cameras. I did commercial modeling and things back then, but it was such a different experience. It was such a pressure cooker almost, because I felt for like the lead, and then I felt for the girls around me, and then the producers that I thought I had relationships with. It was a lot to handle. But the reason why I think I made it to top 10 is because I was good for reality TV. I ended up being the villain on my season because I'm a loud, very blunt New York Asian person.
So don't you ever try me one more time. Wait, I did it. There was people in that group date, and you said, there's someone here.
So the warning is, I shouldn't get you angry.
No, I'm definitely more calm now. I mean, I was 23 at the time.
Okay.
I was a child, basically.
Right.
Very moved by emotion, but now I'm more calm. I'm thinking things through, and I'm almost 30, so I'm just a bit more mature.
So as a first generation, Asian coming from a different background, The Bachelor is primarily like Southern Belle, so to speak. So without getting too into it, you're different.
Yeah.
How did that affect you, and how?
I think my personality differs from them a lot, just simply
because of your experience, because of your background.
I think so. I mean, in general, I feel like as a first generation Asian American, we have a different culture than Americans do, and I think that's not talked about enough because our parents are very strict. I don't know about your parents.
Oh gosh, geez,
Yeah.
I still have wounds.
Yeah.
Did you feel a line there somewhere?
I felt so different.
Really?
Yeah.
So it wasn't because, I don't mean collectively but you just felt kind of separated?
Oh my gosh. I remember talking to my producer before we went to the limo night, which is the first night. And I'm like, I'm afraid I'm going to be sent home. I'm so different than these girls. And she's like, what do you mean? I'm like, I'm not white. Yeah. And I haven't felt that scar since high school. And as a child, like, you get made fun of for being Asian. in an all-American school, all-white school, and it just stings a little bit. And obviously, I'm past that point, but to my deep core, there's that little kid in me that is still afraid.
Or an insecurity.
An insecurity a little bit, yeah. And I think that really shaped like how I was going into this experience, knowing that everyone else was white. And there was nothing wrong with being white. I just think that I was so different from them. Like, how was I supposed to compete with?
And did that change your behavior on the show a little bit? I mean, were you a little more cautious?
I was definitely more cautious on the first
But
night.
then they got to know you, and then you started.
Yeah, and then they got to know me, and then I got comfortable. I mean, you just have nothing to do but get to know these people for 24 hours a day. So we obviously got along and got to know each other very well. And just more so, the New Yorker came out of me than more of the Asian came out of me. But I grew up in an Asian household. I was deathly afraid of my parents. They instilled such strict rules upon me, especially my father. And I think that, like, to my deep core, I felt like I would never make them proud. I think still to this day.
If I got an A, my dad would say, "Why not an A plus?"
Yeah.
Okay.
Still
Why are you
this day,
slipping?
I don't think they've ever said they're proud of me. When I went on the show, I didn't tell a soul that I was going on the show, not even my parents.
Yeah, I can only, and I won't get too much into my feels, but I can only tell you this. My dad would never tell me that he was proud of me, but only until maybe a few years before he passed, he said he was proud. And I have to tell you, I think about that often because even though that the compliment was so few, that when it came, you hung on to it.
Yeah.
And so I think, oh my God.
I know, I'm going to start crying.
Yeah, I mean,
I feel like people don't know how that feels.
Yeah, no, it's tough.
Because it's tough.
It's really, really tough. And so, but it shapes you as a person and it makes you who you are. And I really respect that about you. Now you're in sales and you're very successful at it. Talk about that a little bit with me because, you know, the world of real estate is really hard. It's not like, hey, let's go to LA and sell a bunch of real estate. You know what I mean? And you did it and you succeeded and you're continuing to succeed. You know, I think that's something to be really proud about. Like, how do you draw from that? How did you find your customers? How do you, I mean, and oh, by the way, the question that's kind of gnawing at me, did the experience as someone on TV reality shape kind of like promote that platform for you? Give you the confidence and so on and so forth like that?
I think both the confidence and the platform to do so. I would say it's, you know, not right for me to not say that didn't push me forward a little bit. Before I was in real estate, I was an insurance agent for Allstate Insurance. I was a big producer there for 7 years. Got my license.
And that's not easy either.
No, it's not easy. Selling insurance is really hard.
Yeah.
It's actually easier to sell real estate, I think.
100%. Well, because it's, you know, because people love their homes and so it's insurance is like, well, okay.
Yeah, everyone already has insurance.
Right.
So that was really tough. And I became really good at it. And then I got my real estate license as well because I'm like, I hear people all the time buying and selling homes while I'm helping them with their insurance. Why wouldn't I double dip into that? So I got my license when I was 21 and I just kickstarted my career. The first 3 years were rough. I didn't know how to do anything. No one taught me how to do anything.
You cold call or what do you, how do you?
I cold called. I walked. I literally borrowed my neighbor's dog and I walked around neighborhoods with flyers to get people to sell houses with me. And I will say, every neighborhood that I walked in, I at least sold one house. Yeah, with my neighbor's dog. Because it's weird if I show up by myself, you know. But if you have a dog, you're like, oh, a dog.
Yeah.
So then, years down the road now, I started my own team in New York. I have a group of 3 amazing girls that we just won 4 awards last night in our
Tell me a little about
brokerage.
those awards. You were talking about that.
Yeah.
I want to brag about that a little bit.
So
what was it?
We got the Zillow Award, top Zillow agent in the brokerage. We each got our own production as well. And then as a team, we collectively did $6 million last year.
Awesome.
I know that sounds small in New York or in anywhere else because in LA, that's one house. In New York, we sold 35 homes.
Look, it all starts somewhere.
It all starts somewhere.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I wouldn't diminish the 6 million. It could also be 0.
Yeah.
It could also be whatever. And 6 million leads to 10 million, leads to 20 million. Sky's the limit. I always say, you know, again, you know, if you look on the ground, you know what your downside is. This is the ground. But if you look up in the sky, it's limitless.
Yeah.
And so just keep kind of aspiring to that. And that's, you know, what this show is a little bit all about is to kind of inspire individuals. You're 29. A lot of the majority of the guests we have are young, but they've all started from somewhere. And I love hearing these kind of grassroots type things because, you know, when people are down and out, and this is not a field where you're supposed to feel bad about yourself or whatever, but I just think your generation has a different way of almost genetically thinking differently. When we were growing up, it was, you know, become a lawyer, doctor, you know, so on and so forth. And there's nothing wrong with that. But today, I just find the generation that you're living in. Now, the good news is you're so entrepreneurial. The bad news is there's really no format in how to get there. So everyone kind of creates their own path. I think that leads to a better society in general, because instead of just going down one path, everyone's got multiple paths. And so therefore the path is much, much wider. I want to know about you as a villain. Okay. And the reason why I'm asking you is because here you are, the villain, and people are watching you on TV and so on and so forth. Did that affect you? And then when you went back into, you know, the world of selling real estate and so on and so forth, did that have any backlash on you?
I mean, it had pros and cons. I think right off the bat, when the episode aired where I became a villain, a lot of people were writing reviews from all across the country how I was a bad person and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, this person's from Kansas. I've never sold real estate in Kansas. So clearly it's because they didn't like me on TV. And it really...
That's a compliment in a way, too, because they got engaged with you.
Yes.
And they didn't like you. Okay, fine.
I got to them at some point, even from Kansas.
Right.
But it really messed up with my mental health. And not so much my business. We were able to scrub all those reviews. Obviously, they're not legitimate reviews. I switched brokerages anyways, and that ended up being for the better. But the mental health of it was like, I started believing these people. Like, am I a bad person? Am I a bad real estate agent? Like, how could I be good if so many people are telling me that I'm bad?
And by the way, that's something actually that I am hearing amongst your age group. There's certain kind of anxiety about this whole social acceptance thing. That, you know, on one hand, you know, Instagram and Facebook and all these, you know, mediums, TikTok, all this stuff is a great influence. On the other hand, you almost have to live by it.
Yeah.
How do you kind of create that secure wall for yourself?
I feel like I've done a better job nowadays with...
So it takes time.
Yeah, it takes time. Obviously, I wanted this validation so badly. I was like doing everything that I can to make my fans and the audience happy. And it was really unfulfilling. So now I really protect my personal life. Like, not many people know much about my boyfriend. And people don't ask about it, which is great because I feel like if I posted him all the time...
We all want to know.
They'd be like, are you still together? Blah, blah, blah. But that I keep peaceful. My family I keep out of the media as well. And really, my social media is my highlight reel and my sales. You know, so I think that's what I want to use it for, is for business, show a little bit of my personality. I do like daily vlogs as well sometimes, showing like what it's like to live in my life doing 100 different things. And I still cut out even just like the more personal things. I think that's where I keep the peace, is that some things aren't going to be filmed and some things I'm okay with talking about.
So we heard about your past. We heard about the present. You clearly deal from a funnel looking upwards. What's next on your horizon?
I really want to double my sales in Los Angeles. It is a hard market to dive into. That, and then I'm also launching my social club in Syracuse, New York.
And when's that gonna happen?
I'm hoping the spring.
Okay.
So that's also taking a lot of my time, but I'm just juggling a lot of things right now to build wealth and just make sure I'm never that little girl sitting on the couch crying ever again.
Do you feel like you're gonna settle down in one area, like New York or LA, or are you gonna kind of do the back and forth?
Is it crazy to say that I love the back and forth?
No, I
love the
understand.
chaos of it.
Yeah. Any other areas you want to live in?
Honestly, Arizona sounds really nice. I love hot weather.
Tammy, you know, I hear all these aspirations and you're young, so I'm not going to be like the dad giving advice, but you have to also build leaders, and you have to have your experience translate into leadership. You have these, you know, 3 or 4 other incredible people that you work with, but as you grow in all these businesses, how do you think your experiences help you with leadership? Because it's a different type of coaching. Self-motivation is one thing because you drive. One thing I've noticed is I drive so hard that at times I need to somewhat slow down and teach. Are you being confronted with that now as you're growing your...
Yes.
And how are you dealing with that?
I think like as currently I am dealing with that. I am starting a team for the first time ever. I'm also younger than all these girls that work for me.
Was there tension with that?
For sure.
Yeah.
I understand why it is. Why is this younger girl telling me what to do? I understand that, and I understand how that feels being them. But I have the knowledge and, you know, being able to step out of my ego and just tell them that, or tell myself that I'm here to teach and listen to them and not so much, run it as my show. Even though they work on my team, I want them to be their own individual person. How am I going to do that with every different girl? Everyone deals with it differently. So I think trying to build leaders, like you said, and how they are going to build themselves as a leader. I'm just giving them the tools and the skills to do so. And then I'll be able to step back at one point because I'll trust that they can lead. Same with like my social club. I'm trying to find a general manager right now to envision what I envision for this space, and it's hard.
It's not easy.
No.
Right. I always say when you're looking for other potential leaders, you have to have the ability of monetizing your own intuition, which makes you have to gut check yourself as an individual. Because if you're psychotic, you're only going to hire psychotic managers. And I've done that before in the past, and I've made brutal mistakes. But do you think that with your real estate, with your social club, obviously sky's the limit, and we've often talked just recently about, you don't really know what that sky looks like. But in that process, do you see going back and forth on TV reality and things like that? Would you be open to that, or is that dead now, or you know what I mean? How do you keep that moving?
I think, when you ask me what my North Star is, I don't really have a full vision for it yet because I want to do everything, and I know that sounds so exhausting.
Maybe that's a North Star within itself.
Yeah. And I want to do the TV stuff.
Limitless.
I still want to be an entertainer. I still want to be in this world, but I also want to run my businesses as really good salespeople and lead people. And then I want to also run the best social club or best concept in upstate New York. Like there's so many different ways that I could go. And I feel like I'm being stretched in all different ways, but I almost enjoy the chaos of it.
Correct.
And I think the North Star of it all is doing everything where eventually I can just step back and have everything kind of run on its own.
Yeah, but okay, Tammy, as soon as it runs on its own, you're going to find something else too.
Oh, for sure.
I'm
for
not
sure.
really
That's how
convinced
crazy I
that-
am.
Right. No, you're not crazy. You're just ambitious, which I really appreciate. I want to say this. We were looking for an inspirational first female guest, and you're it. There you go.
That's my North Star.
That's your North Star. It's over now. No, but I cannot tell you how inspirational you've been, and I hope if there's young anyone really that's looking to get through hardship and then see such a bright light, I can tell you I find you extremely inspiring, and I wish you all the success in your life.
Thank you so much.
And I hope we all stay in touch, and I just know you're going to be famous. I feel that, man. I feel it. So after the show's over, I'm going to definitely ask for autographs, so that I can say, hey, I knew you. But I really I was going to say I wish you the best of luck, but I don't think you need it.
Thank you, Bruce. I think that just healed something in me a little bit.
All right, great. And it's a cut.
Changing the game, shattering expectations, rewriting the rules. Meet the new visionaries, the rebels, the ones who dare to disrupt.
When you're on a show like this, we're always talking about disruption.
The way that this is transforming is people want an actual connection with the person that they're listening to.
Exploring the industries revolutionizing our world. The Disruptors from the Fontainebleau Las Vegas Resort.